Warning! The following audio may contain coarse language and other material that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Listener discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil everything and anything, so you have been warned. And good morning, good evening, wherever you may be, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first episode ever of PodTaku, the podcast where we sit around an invisible table on the internet and talk random anime stuff. My name is Arkada from glassreflection.net, and with me today we have Holden from HoldenReviews.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And we also have Gigguk from the Anime Zone.
Hey, how's it going?
And that is our introduction. I am done trying to sound all official-like, because that's not me.
Yeah, it's just a waste of energy, man.
Basically.
You can just cut that now. So now we should probably get into our first thing that we want to talk about what we've been watching. So
Yes,
Tristan, what have you been watching recently, actually?
Well, for my entry in the roll call, I've actually been watching a show called Another, an interesting.
Another what?
Exactly.
Another anime?
Yeah, what was it?
That is actually no joke. That is actually my entire first paragraph of the review on Another is me talking about how shit the name.
I made that joke in my review.
Because that joke has never been done before, ever.
I know. I know.
I have never made that joke before. Who does that?
No, but I also tie it into Higurashi as well, because Higurashi's English title was When They Cry.
When They Cry.
And my thought is When What Cry.
Yeah, I thought, isn't that about like cicadas? Isn't the proper translation When the Cicadas Cry?
It's true, yeah.
Or something.
But they didn't translate it that way. And even when Yumineko got licensed now and it's coming out on DVD later, it's just called Yumineko When They Cry. Like that means anything. It should just be seagulls when they cry, because that's what Yumineko is. It's seagulls.
Seagulls.
When seagulls cry.
You mean echoes?
Yeah, when the seagulls cry. That is the title of the show.
Me knowing a brief amount of Japanese, brief I know, is like Yumi, I know is ocean because of the Yu-Gi-Oh card named Yumi.
Hold on, you don't know Japanese. You know weeaboo.
I know weeaboo. I'm like I'm like level 10 mage weeaboo. And Neko means cat, because Neko Mimi, like my favorite genre. Not really, don't promise that, guys.
Go watch Moonface.
Go watch Moonface if you do. But Neko and Mimi. So it should be like sea cat, like sea pussy, like ocean pussy. Oh, octopussy. That's what it is. That's
a James Bond movie, dude.
I'm correcting Japanese. They did it wrong.
Totally.
You're welcome, Holden from HoldenReviews. But what else? I'm sorry for cutting you off. What else have you been aside watching another anime?
Okay, aside from watching Another, I've just been doing my normal blogs by watching Sword Art Online.
Yes.
I've been trying to keep up with Kokoro Connect, and I have been recently convinced to undrop Tari Tari from my list.
Undrop Tari Tari. Wow, what kind of like poltergeist possessed you to do that?
A friend of mine from Peterborough who would beat the shit out of me if I didn't.
Wow, that's not convincing. That's just a threat.
It's just general threats. No, but that's how it goes. The only one I'm actually legitly following because I'm totally 100% interested is Sword Art Online. I'm just going along with Kokoro Connect because I don't understand.
I'm so on the fence about Sword Art Online. I'm so on the fence.
It's entertaining if you're I read your blog. It's entertaining if you switch off your mind, your reviewer mind, and just fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's like I said. Yeah, like it's the thing where I can't look at something and go. Well, nowadays, it's really hard to look at a show and go, I got some points off there for animation. The voice acting's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's really hard
It's
to do
also that,
sometimes.
So much stuff does not make sense in it. Like, well, okay. For example, they're stuck in this RPG world, and their real world body is apparently lying down somewhere for months. Where the fuck do they eat or piss or shit?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is it just a pile of fecal matter when they wake up? Like, we beat the game and it's just this pile of shit.
My current hypothesis on that is that it's kind of like this alternate dimension thing where they enter the game world and they get locked into it.
Time is altered.
Yeah, and time is halted. So while they're in the game, they can spend all these
it's
months.
Excel World. It's Excel World then, because Excel World.
I know. I actually consider it more like Narnia.
Okay, yeah. But in Excel World, it's funny because Excel World and SOA, it's funny because they're the same mangaka, same author.
Yeah.
But two different companies. But that we talked about before. But the thing about it that's interesting is that in Excel World, it's if they do 1 second in the real world is like 17 minutes in the accelerated world. Yeah. And so they really try to use that whenever they go into certain elements of the show, whenever they're trying to like ambush people, I guess you could say. Mm. And it's odd because they seem very similar, but this one Excel World's so like sci-fi game kind of, whereas SOA, it has the technology, but the technology's only there to set up the fantasy elements presented. Yeah. It's not like this is your retina scanner to enter the Matrix.
The biggest flaw I'm seeing with Sword Art Online right now is that it's pussyfooting around with all these side stories without actually getting to the actual main story of the show, which is what I've been gathering from people that have been commenting who have actually read the light novel. And I'm just like, well, why don't you just get to the show and use side story as filler throughout?
Well, I'm thinking I'm just gonna guess at this, but they might just be trying to introduce side characters one by one, which is like,
what's the point? If we don't even know the main characters that well, what's the point of introducing side characters?
No, that's very
like
true.
freaking Asuna. She spent she takes up over half of the opening, so she's obviously a main character, but she's only shown up in 2 out of 5 episodes.
And then she does show up, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm like now the vice captain of the blah 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 guild now." I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and you realize how
please,
and you realize how in like episode 2 how I was such an actually real-rounded female character. Well, I scrapped all that and I decided to become a tsundere so that people would actually buy shit.
We're pandering again.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. That's what actually pissed me off the most about this most recent episode. It was just like, oh my god, she's back, and then suddenly she becomes a tsundere character. I was like, I have just totally lost interest in her. I was like so interested in her in episode 2 because she just seemed like a younger version of the Major without the badassness yet because she's still learning, like in training. And then and now she's just a tsundere, so it's just like I've lost interest.
So she went from like being on the ways of like a Kusanagi Jr. to being just a generic tsundere.
She's just a generic tsundere.
That's it.
No,
That's such a progression, man.
Yeah, no, but that's how I see it.
Is that all you've been watching? Is that stuff?
Yeah, that stuff and another. Yeah. Well, actually, I've been with my father. I've been watching a bunch of shows, and we just finished tonight. Actually, I finished rewatching the first season of Full Metal Panic.
Ooh, Full Metal Panic. Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah. I've never actually seen the show, but I very much want to.
You should. There's like 50 bazillion shows that you very much want to and probably should watch, isn't there, Holden?
Well, it comes back to the fact that, I know a little bit about everything.
Because you're the Holden Encyclopedia.
Even if I haven't seen the show.
Basically.
Yeah, I'm the Holden Encyclopedia. And one of the things about it was, I look at Full Metal Panic, and I'm deterred by the length of the first season. It's like 24. And the thing is I'll be the first to say that I think new anime has made anime fans weak when it comes to watching coherent storylines that are larger than 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so. What have we had? We've had like Fate Zero, which is technically 2 seasons, but
yeah, technically
that's it might as well be 1.
It's not
because it's
Steins Gate. Yes.
Yeah, Steins Gate and
No, well, the thing is like your restriction right now is like full season show. So I was about to say, Madoka. Oh wait, no, that was only 13.
That's what
I'm saying. Episodes. Like, if anything, like new animes made us as anime fans weak. Because when I go back and I look at something like Ghost in the Shell, I really want to watch Ghost in the Shell.
And you should.
And I look at the number of the episodes, and I'm like, by God, like I could watch all of Madoka Magica. And
4
some
times.
Other thing that
you could watch it Madoka Magica 4 times in the same amount of time it would take to watch both seasons of Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, both seasons.
And it would totally be worth it.
Like
I'm just telling you that now.
No,
it would totally be worth it.
There shouldn't even be a discussion. It doesn't matter. Just fucking watch it.
Yeah, it's really right now. It's just primarily that I'm getting ready to go to college and packing up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have been watching, I've been trying to finish Sankareya, which is the anime where the guy resurrects the zombie because he loves zombies. That's his thing.
Yeah, that's his fetish.
Are we going?
That's his fetish. I thought it was actually it's pretty good so far.
It's already been licensed. I found that hilarious, and I think Funimation picked it up too. So I was looking at that. I was like, really?
Like,
Didn't-
I think
Didn't
it's
Funimation
really
also
good.
are like license Master of the Martial Arts or something, some shit like that?
Yeah, and they also they did that, and they did Strike Witches. They have this thing where they license some really good shows, and then they license all these fan service pandering shows,
Yeah,
and I just do
those
not
things,
understand it.
Yeah, they're very prevalent to like. I don't see. I don't know who licensed stuff. Like, do they even watch the shows they're licensing sometimes? You know,
I don't know. Maybe they
like,
don't.
will this sell? And then they look at it and they go, yes. Like, have you seen that like opening?
In the
like,
olden days, like I think the famous example that I have is Chrono Crusade. Chrono Crusade was
Yeah.
originally licensed because the fan subs on the internet were so popular that they decided, oh, this would actually sell pretty well if we licensed
Yeah.
it, and that's what they did. And
Yeah, Chrono Crusade. Yeah, I can definitely see that. You know, because it does have a
don't-
pretty big cult following.
Don't
still to this day.
Funimation have a partnership with Nico Nico? I thought the whole point of having a partnership with Nico Nico was to see what became popular so they could license it or something like that.
yeah, but
I
the thing
I
is,
have heard that. Yeah,
the thing is, what that I've noticed that they're doing is like they're trying to. There's a lot of companies that are doing licensing before the shows are even finished, which is the problem. There's just like they're trying to grab all of them before the show is even finished, so you have no idea.
yeah, like episode 1 just dead.
They're just
Boom,
guessing,
we need it.
basically.
That's
And
that's
that's
just
what
the way the
happens.
industry works because fucking fan subs are so quick and the way like simulcast, the industry just got to evolve like that. Otherwise,
It has to get
Yeah.
really fast. Yeah.
Well, like fan subs can usually they're usually done within 24 hours, and they're usually better than the actual DVD fan subs.
Yeah,
also,
I was
which
about to
is-
say,
is
like,
hilarious.
the quality of fan subs, you know, is just so good. Which actually brings us up into the point into this
Yeah.
whole entire, podcast.
I think
you know?
we're getting ahead
But
of
we'll put
ourselves.
that on hold.
Yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Although that
We'll
would have
talk
been
about
a
that
really
in
good
little bit,
segue.
but,
Unfortunately, we haven't got to Gigguk.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Basically, I've been watching
yeah, you go then. Yeah.
Sword Art Online, Coco Connect, like Tristan, and I've been watched the first 4 episodes of what was it, Aoi Bungaku or something like that. Yeah.
Aoi Bungaku. Oh my god, yes.
I have no
One of
idea
my
what you're
favorite
talking about.
shows.
Do explain.
No longer. It's by 4 different directors. It's by the director of Death Note. It's got the people who did Prince of Tennis. It's got TJ Kubo's doing character designs. Sugumi Oba or Takashi Obata was I forgot which one was the artist in Death Note, but they have a bunch of different mangakas who did the character designs for adaptating I think 5 or 6 classic Japanese tales. The first is which is called No Longer
and
Human.
it's fucking
And
depressing.
it has a character.
Oh
Awesome.
yeah, no.
But
Now I
you
remember
have
which
to
show you're
admit,
talking
you know,
about.
like,
No, I
you know,
remember.
Gig, like,
I remember you mentioning
Gig-
that, and then I go looked it
Yeah.
up, and I was like, oh, I put this on my to watch list like 2 years ago,
Yeah,
and haven't touched it.
it's one of those things that I watched purely because the guy was sitting in a chair and I was like, holy shit, that guy's sitting
No.
in a chair.
It's a guy sitting in a chair and he looks like Light Yagami.
I know. That's what
I was
I
like,
saw
oh
that
my
image
God.
too, and I'm just like, is this
Yeah,
by the same guy
yeah.
that did Death Note?
Yeah, it's the character designs are by the same guy. It's I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
Takashi
it is.
Obata,
It is
I'm
that
pretty
one.
sure.
No Longer Human is
And,
by Takashi Obata.
Takashi Obata, yeah. Sugumi Oba's right. Okay, yeah, Takashi Obata. He did the character designs for the first arc, which is the first 4 episodes called No Longer Human,
Mm-hmm.
and that arc alone is like worth watching the show. Like even if you
That
don't watch
arc
the show,
alone
just watch that.
blew
It's
me
really
away,
good.
but it's amazing. It's like
It starts off so strong. Like I've never seen an anime go boom, 4 episodes, boom. Like hey,
yeah.
you hooked yet?
I've
Boom, you should
never
be.
been so emotionally impacted by a 4-episode series. I've been more impacted by this than I have in like fucking epic, fucking 50 show stories or whatever.
But then it's like it's such a depressing tale of this mangaka who also the guy who wrote this story. I forgot the author's name, but he wrote No Longer Human, and it's kind of a memoir
Yeah.
of his life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's an autobiography, and the guy it shows how mentally insane this guy was. And it seems so real because the guy actually kills himself. You know, you don't get a better first-hand account of, you know, depression and suicide than a guy who actually kills himself, you know, a while
Yeah.
later, you know?
Wait. So the author killed himself after writing this.
This no longer human. Like is a basic autobiography of how he tries to commit suicide but like fails, and then
And failed.
And then he
and then
actually
he succeeded afterwards. Yeah, but after
But
writing this
he-
masterpiece.
Yeah, he wrote then.
Wow.
Yeah, then he wrote No Longer Human.
Yeah.
Then he actually
Which is why
succeeded.
it's so strong. Like it literally takes you into a mind of like someone suicidal, and it's
I think this show just bumped up pretty much everything else off my
it
priority
is.
list right now.
See, like in the thing, that's just the first
Yeah.
4 episodes. You know, the rest could be bad. You know, and you know, like the one by Tite Kubo that has his character designs is pretty bad. You know, it's called Under the Sakura Tree. But as soon as you get to Kokoro, oh my god, Kokoro is so good. I believe the guy who made Prince of Tennis did the character designs, and it's about a monk who falls in love, and monks can't fall in love at the time because it's about I forgot what era, but they can't because he's a wandering monk, and it's this guy who's the monk's friend, and it's just this crazy mental tale, and I think if anything that Aoi Bungaku portrays really well is it really portrays the psyche of characters in such a convincing way that you feel like all their thought processes and like ideas are not just fabricated, that they have reasons to think what they think.
That's what makes it so good. Like it literally takes you into the mind of someone. Because like I'm a pretty optimistic person, but I've never felt so. I don't know. Not even depressed. Just like, what's the point?
It wasn't even depressed. It was just confused.
Maybe it'll be different for me because I'm actually a fairly pessimistic person. So that'll be interesting.
It was kind of like the anime made the first arc alone. It makes you look at the world and go, like
no. I got it.
This is your
it made
lifestyle,
me feel
what's the point?
empty. That it just made you feel empty.
It makes you really look at humans and see, this is actually what humans are. In the same way that Welcome to the NHK is kind of it's a comedy. But there's elements of the Welcome to the NHK
it's
that
just so depressing, yeah.
It's so real life, It really strikes chords with people.
There actually are people that spend all this time playing MMOs. There are these people that go into pyramid scams.
But it's just depression, People can relate with that, Too often is anime about, let's all smile and do this and things will get better. When you really see depression in characters, you can really connect with that because, it's every human experiences it. And no show does it better than, like, Aoi Bungaku just does it, just blows it away, right off the bat.
I loved Welcome to the NHK, but this
I loved it too.
Aoi Bungaku is like on another level. It's just like
it's so good,
It's really
and
good.
then you get into the things like Ron Mellos, which is about playwriters and who best friends who this guy writes a play that's inspired by his childhood, and it's just so touching. I don't even know if I finished the series, okay. Because I think what happened was I finished the arc I was on, and I went, like, by God, like, that's an ending, And I guess I was so distracted, that I didn't watch it, because this is I think 2 years ago. It was 2010, I think, when it came out. And I was getting distracted really easily by, High School of the Dead. But, this is, okay, let's put it this way. It's by,
on a side note, both are by Madhouse.
That's the thing. Madhouse did both. Okay, this is back when Madhouse made anime series. This series, it looks good. It's got the story. It's got everything. Go watch Aoi Bungaku.
It's by Madhouse when they were still good. I mean,
yeah, it's by Madhouse back when they made anime and it was still good.
Back when they made anime series, they can still do movies really well, but
they can still do movies really well. But
back in the day, what was the last good Madhouse show?
The last good Madhouse show, in my opinion, it wasn't bad, but I would say High School of the Dead, to be honest. Yeah.
Really?
It wasn't bad.
I would say, well, it's not really a full show, but I would have said Roberta's Blood Trail.
Oh, 5 episodes of the series,
I need to wait for that dub before I see that.
Oh, you mean the dub that's probably not going to have the same actors in it, so that's why I just said fuck it and I'll watch it in Japanese. That's legitimately why I caved and watched it, because I know it's not going to be the same actors.
I want to watch Black Lagoon someday.
I actually recently watched it like 2 weeks ago with my father, because it was just like, so what do you have? You must no longer have anything good. And I was just like,
I remember this. Yeah, I recently with my parents, what it was my mom was like, what the hell are you doing? Up in your room all this time. Like, show me what you're wasting your time with, right? And so I show her Cowboy Bebop. I show her Cowboy Bebop, and I say like, this is from 1998, and she says, this is from 19, and then she repeats it, and she says, this is from 1998, and I go, yeah, and she goes, this is ridiculous. And she says, I remember taking you to go see Hercules in 1998.
Oh yeah, this is nothing like
she was just blown away that this was at the same time that like Hercules came out. She's like, oh wow.
You want to know a funny story about Cowboy Bebop? I actually attempted to show that show to my father, and halfway through episode 3 he fell asleep. I felt so saddened that day.
It's because I showed Cowboy Bebop to my father. I started on Ballad of the Fallen Angels.
We all showed Cowboy Bebop to our father.
Yeah, because the first 3 episodes are kind of crap,
Yeah, because how can you go wrong with that?
If I was to show any episode from Cowboy Bebop, I would probably show them, I'm trying to think. It'd either be the monkey one,
Wow.
Just because that one is so easy to get into, like it establishes itself so well.
And that's actually after Ballad of the Fallen Angels too, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
Yeah,
after
yeah,
Ballad
yeah.
of Fallen. Ballad of Angels. That's episode 5, right? Ballad of Fallen Angels. God, how do I know that?
because Ballad of the
You're the
Fallen
Holden
Angels is episode
encyclopedia.
4. Episode 1 is the one with the red eye.
Red
Episode
eyes.
2 is about the dog. Episode 3 is where they pick up Faye, and episode 4 is Ballad of the Fallen Angels. That's how
And
it
then
goes.
yeah, oh yeah, and then 7. Yeah, okay, that makes sense because Heavy Metal Queen would be 7 then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which was also a pretty badass episode, I have to admit.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just such an easy anime to get into. That was my major thing, you know. I was using the rationale, you know. I was looking at my shelf and I go, you know, what can I show to someone? And they don't go, you know, why?
Yeah,
You know,
it's just you
like-
guys again. Like if you're gonna start with Bebop, you can't start with episode 1 because it just won't work.
Oh no, you
No,
can't
no.
definitely.
But that's the beauty
totally
of Bebop.
agree.
You can really Bebop's about. You can show any episode in any order, and it won't really matter, except for the 5 story episodes. But that's
Yeah.
it.
I was about to say, like, that's why Bebop, you know, has been running on the air, because, you know, anyone can just flip through channels, you know, if you find Bebop, you could totally watch it, you know,
Yeah.
with no...
That's why it's
no
been on
prior
Toonami
knowledge.
for like ever.
That's why,
That's why
it's
it's
been
still on
Adult Swim and
Toonami.
That's why it's still on there, you know?
It probably will never leave.
Yeah, it's, and then after that, you know, I was watching, Gankutsuo with my parents.
Oh,
see,
finally, Holden.
I want to show that to my dad, but I'm afraid he'll like have a seizure or something. No, he
My
probably
mom-
won't. But
It's because my mom is you know, she's a huge fan of the book, you know, and so she liked the movie adaptation. You know, I have actually never seen Gankutsuo, so it's my first time watching it as well, and I haven't even watched it all the way through yet. But from what we saw, it was actually really well. And the
no,
reception
it
was
is
actually
really well. It has a slow start, I will admit, but when it starts to actually get good, it really gets good.
There's this point in Gangutsu about halfway through where it's just like the marathon show. You know, you can't put it down.
No, that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing it for the first review week of Awesome, it was just like I started watching it and I was just like watching like 1 or 2 episodes every couple of days, and then it just hit this point where I was just like, I start watching it and then I look outside and I was just like, holy crap, when did the sun go down?
Oh yeah,
I haven't
love
eaten
it.
in like 10 hours.
Fate Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fate Zero. I watched Fate Zero while it was airing. Or at least I can say I did now at least because I didn't watch any episode until the week before the final episode. So I watched episodes like 14 to like 24 like in a day. And then I remember I was just waiting 24 hours for the next episode, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait. I was like, I feel so sorry for the people who waited like 7 days.
This is why I waited till the whole show was over before I even.
This is why I
touched
waited
it
for
past
the
episode
final.
5.
Yeah, before the
This
final
is
episode
why
was
I
out.
paid like what $400 to get the whole entire series.
I really wish I had your money. I seriously do.
Well, I'm really waiting for the Blu-ray box set of Fate Zero to review it, the new one, because they're gonna add upon the final episode with and that's the major thing is that I'm waiting for is with the fight with Berserker. They're gonna add upon that.
Now, thankfully, I already knew that spoiler, but if I didn't, I would kill the
Yeah.
shit out of you
I was about
right
to say
now.
Holden. Like that's a pretty big.
Well, you know,
that's a pretty
it-
big spoiler right there. You just
But it doesn't
dropped-
matter.
It
dropped
totally
on anyone
matters.
listening to us. By the way,
Well, I mean, but no one's gonna understand if they're just a third party listening to us. It doesn't matter. You know, I could say Chive de Leon, and no one's gonna know who Chive de Leon is. You know, but you know, I just made it up. But I'm still like
That's
It's a
actually
specific name.
actually an anime, isn't it?
Chive de Leon.
Yeah.
Shiver de Leon.
No, it's just I made it up.
No,
It's chival-
legitly, isn't there an anime like?
No,
called that?
I'm being totally serious. I just took the word chivalry in like the lion because I thought of Saber and how she's the lion.
No, I
and
am
she does
totally
chivalry, and I made
serious.
Shiva de Leon.
There is an anime with that title.
No, you're thinking of Cirque the Freak. I think Cirque the Freak's an anime. I think
Are we
What,
just are we just naming out any French names we can think of?
French
Yeah,
names.
it's-
Gankutsuo. I did like how what was it? I think Gunslinger Girl had all of its titles. I think it was in Italian actually though.
Yeah, no.
That's
Legitly, there's an anime called Le Chevalier d'Eon. No
Are you
joke,
serious?
there is. It's a 24-episode anime produced by
Dude,
Production
send that shit
IG.
to me, dude. That must have been like one of the whole encyclopedia reservoirs just bursting.
Yeah,
Well, at least we know
it-
where that name came from.
It came
obviously.
out in 2006, and it was done by Production IG. No-
Dude, send a link. That's amazing.
All right, I
can't
looked it up
believe
on my
that.
laptop. I gotta open it up on my desktop and send it
That's
to you.
crazy.
That
Okay,
is-
but
But like you said that, and I was just like, that's an anime title, isn't it?
yeah, I'm actually
The Arkada Encyclopedia triumphs.
the Arkada Encyclopedia. Get that pussy shit out of here, mate. But no, it's Fate Zero really is, you know, it's the show that really it's really redefined rather what current anime can do, you know. It shows that it's not all the same. It shows in my book. It's these three. Okay, in my book, it's these three. You know that prove that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, Steins Gate,
Yeah.
Madoka Magica.
Madoka Magica,
Yeah.
and Fate Zero.
Well, those are the most
Those-
recent ones, anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's the past 2 years. But
Yeah.
think about. I'm actually thinking. What about from between the past 2 years and like say 2007 or so?
2009. I'm trying to think.
Okay, give me a year, and I am just going to look at every anime that came out in that particular year.
2009.
I know
Anime.
Bakemonogatari, maybe Angel
Yep,
Beats.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. Back
Yeah.
in the gods.
And Angel Beats.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
which,
I think that's it.
Bakemonogatari is, in my opinion.
K-On! Oh yeah, we got.
Fuck
Oh,
you!
Fuck you. We got a Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Which is kind of a big thing. I'm not going to lie. Brotherhood is kind of a big
I'm not
thing.
gonna act like Fullmetal Alchemist isn't big either. You know, that's just shallow. You know, it's
Yeah.
huge. That's what it is.
It's absolutely huge.
Aoi
And everyone
Bungaku
should watch
should be
it.
on the list, but it's not. It's not, but it should be because it's awesome, unbelievably good. Let me look at this. Oh yeah, they had that spread out time where they did all the Marvel anime.
No,
I
I've
remember that.
heard they're pretty meh though. The Marvel anime.
I
They
heard
are.
they're pretty meh.
No,
too.
they are legit.
They're legit meh.
Yeah, they are legit. man.
Legitly meh.
Yeah, you heard it here first on the PodTaku cast. You know,
They are legit.
Marvel anime are officially labeled meh. Oh, that's what
It's
it
the
was.
Potaku stamp of meh.
You know Natsumi Yujin or Natsumi Book of Friends.
Mhm.
That's pretty big. I haven't seen it, but you know that's a pretty big
Is that the
thing.
one by Kyoto Annie?
No,
or
that's
am I
the
thinking of
one.
something else?
It's really random. It's Brains Base.
Ah,
it's
right.
It's the guy he has demon friends and he just goes around and does shit. You know, it basically has the makings to be like any other show in the world, but it somehow pulls it off apparently.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking through 2009, and I'm just like, okay, well, there's Human Echo, but apparently that ended up being shit. I haven't finished watching it, but that's just what I've been told. Spice and Wolf 2, which was only 13 episodes, and it ended really badly. K-On!
High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead.
Hell yeah, girl! We got my High School of the Dead.
Phantom came out in 2009.
Phantom Record. Oh wow, yeah, that's something actually. Yeah, definitely. I've never even seen it, and I know that's something good.
Yeah, I've not seen that either. But it is by Geno Ibuchi, which can never go wrong.
right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's
you know,
true.
nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Also by two of the anime that I listed as saving graces in recent times.
In the last 2 years.
Yes.
I.e., Madoka Magica and Fate Zero. He wrote both of those as well.
What I've noticed is that, like, there end up being, like, 50 different shows that get released in the span of a year, and at least one of them, just one, blows my mind. Once a year. That's how often it usually
What
happens.
was it in 2009 then?
I actually cannot remember. Oh,
was
actually,
it?
no, Eden of the East in 2009.
Eden of the Eden of the East.
But then again,
Eden of the East.
the movies just let me down on any given
I haven't
release.
seen the movies yet.
I haven't seen the movies either because I've know that they're bad. Like
Just I'm not gonna spoil it. It's just a letdown, and I can't put it any other
okay.
way because I
recent
was
stuff.
I marathoned Eden of the East and then movies,
Yeah,
and
I
I was
did
just
too,
like,
definitely.
oh my god, it's amazing! Oh shit, it's just me.
Recently, though, I'd like to point out the Evangelions rebuild. I think is just awesome. You know, I think they're really good. So good that I actually got I got all the 3 art books recently.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Now I'm looking
Movie-
through
movie one-
2008
yeah.
now, so you can just talk while I look through this.
Movie 1 has
2008.
1 art book, and movie 2 has 2 because of how well animated it was and how fucking kick-ass, I guess. And it's just literally every frame in the entire movie, just page. I think it's like 16 frames per page, you know. And since I want to be an animator, you know, this is like a gold mine to me, you know. If I can make my anime look like Fate, if I can make it look like, you know, Evangelion Rebuild, you know, I'm in good shape. You know, I've done something right.
You
know?
you done more than right if you just made it look like.
Yeah,
Raven.
you've done something more than right, you know. Recently,
Have you seen the newest trailer for 3.0? Where they just put a piano.
They put.
I bet you fucking got crazy over that as well.
I was like, they put a lava lamp piano, and I was like, oh my god! Like, my theory is that symbolizes human instrumentality.
I'm sorry, but the second you say symbolize in context with Evangelion, I just laugh.
No, dude, you have to see this trailer. Anyone will agree with me that it has to symbolize something.
No, I think
There's
Anno's
no
just
way.
trolling us again. Anno's just like lying down in his big pile of money going, ha, someone's going to think something of this. I'll just put something else.
I think that what I'm looking forward to is seeing Mari do stuff. Anything. Mari needs to do anything.
Well, technically,
I feel
Mari
like
did do stuff. It just was not very good. Well, it was good stuff, but...
It was good stuff. I think every moment with her, was the most enjoyable, rather. Like, she led into the best scenes in the movie, in my opinion. Or a really good scene. Because...
I like your smell.
Oh my god, you smell like LCL. Oh my god.
I love your smell.
I think it's the glasses is what makes me like her a lot. But what it is I think what it is that she's unpredictable.
What I think it is she's pandering to the only like character trait that they didn't have before, because they had Rei being the just character.
Yuki Nagato.
The Yuki Nagato character. You had Asuka being the tsundere character, and
Harry.
now you and now you have this new character that's like the classes.
She's more than that though. That's the thing. Like she's just too unpredictable. Like I feel like I know Rei, Shinji, and Asuka so well that I'm like, I bet here's what's gonna happen.
Well, it's not
given
hard.
this
It's
scenario.
Yuki Nagato, tsundere, and Pussy Bitch.
Yes.
Pussy bitch with glasses.
No. Pussy Bitch. I was talking about Shinji.
All right.
Well, yeah, because like Nora's not a pussy bitch. She just goes berserk. Yeah, that's all she does.
I was talking
It's a
about
good
Shinji.
movie, regardless, though. Yeah.
Although
really good
I
film.
am glad they gave Shinji like a hint of testosterone in the second movie. I was happy with that. And then the world ended. It's like the moment Shinji gains some balls is the moment the world ends. It's literally.
Like literally. It's quite funny how there's that correlation between the two, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we should we probably get talking about the main topic of this podcast.
Probably, considering we've been talking for half an hour.
Yeah, about a half hour in. Yeah.
All right.
So, would you like to give the viewers a rundown of what we're going to be talking about, Tristan?
Okay, what we are going to be talking about, it's a little dated, but it's mainly because we meant to do this podcast like ages ago, and it just never happened. But what we would like to talk about is because we actually considered Steins Gate to be one of the saving graces in the past couple of years. We wanted to talk about the recent or somewhat recent announcement for Funimation's Dubcast and our thoughts in general on that.
I think J. Michael Tatum as Akabu Rintaro is not a bad choice. It's not what we were
It's not my
expecting.
number one choice, but he's my number two choice.
For the viewers, we had the discussion before, and we all agreed that Chris Patton would be our first choice.
Yeah, Chris Patton would have been.
Chris Patton.
But unfortunately, Chris Patton has stated that he will never do work for Funimation again, which is really sad.
That sounds like Chris Patton, though. Actually,
no. What it was?
no,
there was
thinking about it. That sounds totally like Chris Patton.
No, but there was something along the lines of Funimation. Like, I think they sued Sentai or they sued someone over some copyright issues, and Chris Patton thought the whole situation.
Didn't they sue like what was left of ADV, and then ADV sued
like
them back?
Yeah, it was just like this big clusterfuck of suing, and Chris Patton said, "This is just stupid. I'm not working for you people."
That sounds like recent 4Kids, how they were trying to sue like Yu-Gi-Oh. That was a while ago, but
no,
yeah,
it just sounds like America.
Yeah,
it sounds like America. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. You know.
Yeah, but when I was like watching the trailer, the thing that I worry about with Tatum is originally like just on paper. It sounds like a good idea because he has been able to do the very serious voice acting, and then he's been able to go the very verbose, frigging Isaac from Bakano type voice acting, and I was just like, that's perfect. But then from the trailer, we don't really see the batshit crazy Okabe in that trailer at all, so it has me worried that
I think if anyone can do it, I think that he has a possibility to do it, or if he doesn't come off psychologically insane like Akabu Rintaro is. Mm-hmm. At least he'll come off really funny.
Hopefully.
Which at the end of the day, that's what Akabu Rintaro was.
It'll be good for like the first half, but I'm holding my breath for the second half.
The second half, it's going to be really hard to dub. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. You know,
I will say though that based on the trailer, the one voice I am very happy with is Jackie Ross that did Mayuri, because just at the very end she did do and I was just like, nailed it. You're good. You're good.
Oh my god!
She could just live with that one line, basically.
Just the one line.
Was it.
It was just like you nailed it. That was the only line from Mari that I was actually worried about someone screwing up, or that they would replace it with something really stupid.
Well,
actually,
unfortunately, I couldn't see the trailer because I live in England and I don't make it available here. But did they do a Akabe laugh? Just
No.
out of curiosity.
No, they didn't.
No.
This is
Okay.
why I was worried because they didn't.
That's why we're scared.
Right. Because
That's
that
like his
is a
thing.
big thing, the Akabe laugh.
That's like his thing.
The
that's
only
his
one,
thing.
the one scene that made me worried was they took the scene from episode 1 where they have the camera set up in the future gadget lab,
Oh, yeah,
and he's just
and
like,
the-
"I am Okabe. This
Lab
is lab
members.
member number 002 and 3," and
Yeah.
and he was just talking a bit, and I was just like, he's not being as crazy as he should be. Though my thought with that is what the possibility is that the takes that they used for the trailer are not actually the takes that they're going to use for the actual episodes, which I have seen happen before.
That's definitely possible. Definitely, yeah. I could see them doing it,
Mm-hmm.
They're just trying to basically say that, yeah, by the way, we still own this. Like, because I mean, what? I think, Tristan, you were looking at, they had the license for, how long? You've been watching them.
No,
most, like,
okay. This is what was really annoying. It came out in like November 2 years ago or something.
2011 or
2011. It came out in like November. It finished. No, not November. It came out in October.
October. Yeah.
And then it finished in April. That April is when Funimation licensed it, and then it took them a year and I think 2 months to finally announce this dubcast. So it's like we haven't heard anything Steins Gate for a year, but they had the license for a year and a half, and that seems to be about the norm. Once anybody picks up the license, if they're going to dub it like Funimation normally does, it usually just stays silent and they don't talk about it for like a year, and then they suddenly pop up saying, "Okay, here's the release date and here's the dubcast."
Yeah, I mean, dubs are being really slow recently, which is it's
No,
kind
it's
of
always
scary.
been like
Dubs are not just being slow; they're dying out.
I'm-
Let's be honest;
I know.
they are dying
As I say,
out.
that's what I'm trying to point out. Is like it's kind of scary because
Well, Funimation's the only ones that do it, really. Like
yeah.
Sentai
Dubs are
does
really
some of their
important.
shows, but not all.
and then
Aniplex doesn't do anything.
Aniplex, no, they did Madoka.
Oh right, yeah, they did.
Yeah, as I say,
Hopefully,
like, they can't
which
do
is
that.
hopefully successful, so they can do Fate Zero as well. Because I hope Fate Zero does get done.
But then the
be
question is, are they going to bring back?
See-
Are they going to bring back some of the dubcast from the Fate's Day Night?
No, see, I could really care less because in
Yeah,
my
it's true.
in my
it's
eyes,
been
what,
long enough where I wouldn't care either.
what they need
Yeah.
to do is UFO table just needs to sit down and say, what are we gonna do with these like 10 square storage rooms of like money, and then I hope someone raises their hand and goes, we need to remake Fate's Day Night, and I hope like Genya reaches in the room and says, oh, yeah, I could write that, yeah, sure, I can do that.
I just love this image of you have a Ufotable. Like it's just
We
this
have
happy
too much
lucky.
money.
Oh my god, what do we do with this money?
No. Actually, what I
We
consider
have too much
there's
money.
this mystical room of money, and this mystical room of money belongs to different anime studios at different times. I remember a time that this mystical room of money used to belong to Bones.
Yes,
They have
and then
since lost the
Madhouse.
keys to this mystical magical room.
And then it was Madhouse at one point too.
And it was Madhouse
Yeah,
at one
and
point.
Madhouse.
And then it was
now,
Production IG at one point, yeah.
Yeah, this
So,
is
like,
it's been
I'd love
passed
to point
around.
out, Production IG, I think they had it in 2003, because Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex is 2003. When I look at that
Blowing
and I
mind.
say 2003, I go, this was competing against Love Hina. Like, whoa.
No
like,
contest.
holy shit.
Isn't Standalone Complex like one of the most expensive anime series ever made? Although I read that a
it
few
is.
years ago.
No,
But
yeah,
I don't know how
you're,
relevant it
you're exactly right. It is one of the most expensive productions ever made, and
Yeah.
boy, does it show it.
Yeah.
Like, it looks almost timeless.
That's
like,
probably
swear
why.
to God.
That's probably why. Like Production IG has stated that they are very interested in doing a third gig for Ghost in the Shell, but they just haven't got around to it yet. And I actually think what it is like they haven't come up with a proper excuse to fund it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they do amazing things. Like Guilty Crown, I think everyone else hated it in the world, but I thought it was really good. But it took me like, it has a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah.
But what it took me was that I had to sit down and go, this show is copying a lot of shows, and I know it's copying a lot of shows, but if I didn't know it was copying a lot of shows, would this be entertaining? And the answer was yes.
But with Production IG, I think they can actually get the keys back to this mystical magical room
Yeah.
if they pull off Robotic
Like,
Notes.
Ooh, that's gonna be hard. See,
If they pull it off, if they do
Robotic
pull it
Notes
off.
at this point has this unreal expectation just
Yeah.
because it's Steins Gate. Because before, people didn't even know Steins Gate is related to Chaos Head.
And
which,
Chaos Head was
oh,
just
spoiler alert, they're related, but spoiler alert, they're not, because no one really knows what's going on in either of them.
they have a semicolon in their title. That's it.
That's about
And
it.
one of them shit.
One of them.
You can pretty much guess which one that is. And Robotic Note, I think it can do it. And if what is like Guilty Crown's proved anything, Guilty Crown looks really good.
Mhm.
Guilty Crown has an amazing soundtrack. Guilty Crown's story was just a little lacking as well. So if they can just make if they can make Robotic Note interesting, it'll do good.
Yeah.
Because it's got all the makings of one of those shows that is just fantastic.
Well, it's one of the things that I've said before is like Chaos Head is like so far bad, and Steins Gate is like so good. They're like on opposite sides of the scale here. So I think Robotic Notes will just be average to balance it out.
I'm expecting average. I don't want to go into it expecting Steins Gate. But to be honest, if you go in expecting Steins Gate to be really good, you'll be disappointed. Because Steins Gate starts off like,
oh my god,
pudding.
Steins Gate.
Look, we have pudding, bananas.
No, Steins Gate has a really good first episode, and then it's absolutely shit till like episode 8 or 9.
Episode 8.
After episode 1, you're like, oh my god, this can be amazing, and then you're just like, okay, so they're on the hunt.
Oh,
they're trying to find a computer. What? Like,
it's like this guy's a girl, but he's not a girl because he has a penis, and
he's actually a guy.
But he's a guy, and
that's another thing that I'm worried about for the dub. The "It's so cool, son of a bitch" line. How do you translate that?
You don't. It's gonna be lost.
It's gonna be lost.
Or no, actually, I don't think it could be lost. I think what it could be is that they could just play it off as, since everybody speaks English, he's just trying. He'll just try to talk black. Because the character
that's convenient.
He's
right. It was a black guy.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to end
convenient.
up doing. That's like the only answer.
In Evangelion 2.22, I think I've brought this up before, but Shinji, when Mari's on the roof, she's talking on a phone in English. Shinji looks at Mari like, she's speaking English. That's weird. I'm Japanese. I speak Japanese. But in the English dub, it loses this sense of mysteriousness behind Mari, and it makes Shinji Ikari just look like he doesn't understand basic English. Like, it just makes him look like, school? What?
No, actually, no, that happened in Black Lagoon too. I think, except it's kind of the reverse, because in the second half of the second barrage, there's the whole section where Rock is the translator for the Russians. And in the English dub, it makes sense, somewhat, because Balalaika speaks English, Rock speaks both English and Japanese, and then the guy that they're talking to, when he's in the scene with Balalaika, he speaks only Japanese, but every other time the camera's on him, he speaks English, which is kind of weird. But the scenes themselves make perfect sense, and I'm just like, if this was Japanese, so one guy is speaking Japanese and Balalaika is speaking Japanese, and then you have Rock translating in Japanese to both of them. I was like, is that how it works? I never actually flipped it, because maybe they actually have Balalaika speaking Russian in that scene. I don't know, but...
And they also have that one scene where Revi speaks English, and I can't understand anything that Revi's saying in the sub, at least.
My god, yeah.
It's so hilarious. Yeah.
That was one of my... I haven't even seen the show, and I know what you're talking about. She pulls out her gun, and she shoots a tin can.
Yeah, that scene. No, I know that scene.
Oh my god, that was so funny. I still have no idea what the hell she was saying.
It's like, I don't think even like the subbers know what she was saying, because in the version I saw, there was no subs. So
yeah,
just had to sort of have to guess.
The subtitles just put in parentheses, just like audible English, like inaudible English. Like, we have no idea what she is saying.
It's inaudible English or audible English.
Yeah. But actually, on the same note as talking about Steins Gate getting licensed, your guys' thoughts on licensing, like what do you guys think about recently, with the recent the push towards simulcasting and licensing stuff basically after the first episode, pretty much.
Yeah, that was a nice segue.
Well, yeah, it's a great segue. The reason why I'm kind of worried about it is because before simulcasting, there was always that gray area when it came to fan subs, how if it wasn't licensed, it was basically okay for you to go ahead and to download fan subs, and you could basically do it guilt-free. But now that simulcasts are there, the only option you really have is to watch the simulcasts, because otherwise it's just like, well, they technically own the rights for it, so fan subbing, that gray area doesn't exist anymore. It's just fully illegal. But then at the same time, like if Funimation licenses a show for simulcasting, they have region locking, and like there are times.
That's true.
There are
That's
times like
true.
even in Canada where I've been region locked out of things for fun.
Like you guys probably couldn't get all the same stuff I could, because me being in America and you guys being in Canada and Britain, we don't have all the same things.
Like in defense, like 90% of stuff I can see, but it's just like there's a couple of things that I just can't.
Yeah, the UK gets fuck all compared to America and Canada. just saying, like
the UK gets fuck all.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And that's
though.
the same for basically everything.
Guys,
you guys get screwed with video games too.
Yeah,
What was it? You guys get in the UK. You guys have pretty much manga. You guys have manga, but not manga. The comics. I mean manga, the production company.
Yeah, manga
Entertainment.
Manga Entertainment. Yeah, you guys have that, and that's like that's your equal equivalent of what Funimation is. Like, how active are they in compare? Like,
they are, they are the most. Well, what have they released recently? Spice and Wolf season 2. They haven't released recently.
They're releasing Black Lagoon on Blu-ray, which I was pretty interested in. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I saw that, and I was just like, wait, what? Manga doesn't know the. Oh, UK. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like Tristan, like in Canada, do you have anything special? Is there any special companies?
No. And anything that we get in Canada is just when the licensing company from the States happen to just like write in also Canada. That's basically
there's an asterisk that says include Canada, like
also Canada, because normally what I think is most of the licensing agreements they specifically state for North America, so that covers Canada as well. But I do think there are some that only say US, and that's why we get screwed. Some really weird times.
What's the region coding on DVDs in Canada? Is it still Wong?
Yeah, it's still the same as US.
It's Wong.
Region coding for Canada and US is exactly the same.
And then Britain, I think, is 2, isn't it?
Yeah. The interesting thing about manga that I missed is they don't own like the actual rights. They only own the distribution rights. It's still licensed by Funimation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
but
that's true.
In Australia, it's like if Funimation buys a license, it's like everywhere but Australia for some reason.
Yeah, that's very true. It's really weird because I know exactly what you're talking about, because Mad Men is just a powerhouse there. Like, they monopolize it. They're the equivalent of like Funimation.
They are the Australian equivalent for Funimation, and they actually have quite a lot of shit that I wish like someone in North America would take.
Yeah, they're really active. It comes back to Funimation believes on the price model of lower price equals higher sales, as Aniplex believes in the price of higher price. Less sales, but
higher price, so
higher price, so they make up profits, And really, it's
and then Sentai's just like, okay, just put it on a DVD and send it, ship it out, just go.
Just don't even fuck the subtitles, just do whatever you want.
Yeah,
just
like
put it
no
on.
Quality control.
Good, what's that? I work for Sentai. I don't have quality control. What are you talking about?
They don't want quality. They just want DVDs.
They just want sales.
It belongs on the shelf. Just make the art look good. But one of the things that recently that I've really noticed is with the popularity increase in say Crunchyroll and stuff, I still personally I have to be honest here, I still download a lot of things that I own because I own it, or as soon as I usually buy everything I download.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent of it, like even like what is it, Fate Zero? I buy Fate Zero. Don't even care about the price.
Yeah, you imported that shit.
I just want it. And I know
what,
everyone.
What was your calculation? Like, what was your calculation? It was like a couple of dollars every minute.
It's more than $1 a minute. Yeah, it's more than $1 a minute to watch. But it was totally worth it, without a doubt.
To be honest, if you look at Fate Zero, it is more than $1 a minute to watch. If you just look.
Oh
at the
my god! Like
it
is so visually amazing.
Yeah.
And I see. My dream is that since I do, have more of a disposable income than most people.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Well, you don't say. It's kind of like since I do download everything, but this was technically an import with Japanese subtitles. The same with my Baccano Blu-ray box set. Technically it's a Japanese box set that it just has both English dub and English subtitles and the Japanese dub, and Japanese subtitles for the Japanese people who watch the English, because apparently they do that, I guess. But well, that makes sense because Baccano, it is in America. That makes kind of sense.
Yeah.
But more recently, like with the Eric 7RO, aside from how much, I loathe the show itself, at least, they're giving the option, to have English subtitles on region-free Blu-ray discs. And I think that's really smart business move because, even if you only sell like 10 for that reason, how hard is it, to put subtitles on, a Blu-ray, you have so much room. And to be honest, if you just put the fan subs, at this point, fan subs are so good that they could just go on a fan sub site and just like take it and be like, done.
What I wish Sentai did is for the subtitles for Clannad is that they just went to Eclipse Subs, took the subtitles directly from that, and then just attached it to their video. That's all I wish they did, but they didn't.
I mean, it's
they didn't.
We're at this point where fan subs are so good, that they're like what? Yeah, we talked about it. It's like a day. It's not even a day anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And it's professional quality. It's 1080p, you know. It's
It's
also
not just 1080p, it's 10-bit.
Oh, it's 10-bit. Yeah, that was the
10-bit.
newest thing. 10-bit. And it's so easy to torrent things nowadays, and you know. So I think one of the things is that it's just, you know, the education itself, and you know, the market has to grow fast enough right now because you know everything else, all the illegal stuff is so fast, and so it's really, you know, in this case of the snail and the hair of the turtle and the hare, it's better to be the hare. You know, it doesn't even matter your quality, just be fast.
Well,
and
that's the kind of thing that I hate, though. It's just because piracy is just so easy that people just take it. Like, I remember talking to people in my university where they were just like, oh, I watch anime, and then I just suddenly get so interested because I'm like, oh my god, a person that I can talk to that actually watches anime. And then I was just like, so where do you get your anime from? And it's just, and it's just
you get this blank you get this blank stare of, what do you mean owning anime? Like,
what do you mean you pay for anime?
and then I just like immediately face desk because it's that problem of convention attendance every year increases at every major con ever.
Definitely, I agree.
And yet anime sales have been tanking for quite a while.
That's just depressing. It's just like, it's no matter what, in my opinion, no matter what the industry does, there will always be people that will just take it because they fucking can, and they you know, and they'll find any excuse to not take the legal aspect.
Yeah, that's very true.
Regardless, because like there are so many anime out there that you can just like watch for free if you have access to Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Yeah. Like even like Hulu and Funimation and like
and Netflix if you're in North
YouTube,
America.
like fucking YouTube, Bandai, all of Kurakami on it,
all of Monster. All of
you know,
Monster is on YouTube.
All of Kogi,
all of
season
Baccano,
1.
all of Beck, all of.
You know, it's on fucking YouTube. Like you could go on like your iPhone, probably even do this. Like
yeah, you probably can.
And,
and if
like,
it's on Crunchyroll, you can go on your.
It's like it's really coming to a point where I'm thinking like, you know, you can't make all your money back from ads, you know, but it's coming to a point where we almost have to find a way to, you know, like it's getting pretty bad, you know.
Yeah.
And it's really. You know, you can kind of tell in, you know, recent anime, you know, they'll just it's like even if they want, you know, even if the anime companies want to make good anime, which a lot of them do, you know, a lot of them don't strive to make shit, you know, prior to, you know, common, you know,
no, they strive to make something that'll sell.
Yeah,
yes.
Contrary to popular belief, they don't try to make shit.
No director strives to make shit, but all anime companies strive to make money, you know.
To make money, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily always their fault, you know. If they had money to make something, they could probably do it.
It's one of the it's like you look on the internet and you have all these people in the last couple of years that have been just heavily railing against like all these heavily moe influenced shows. They're just like, oh, it's shit. This has ruined the anime industry. And I look at that and it's just like, the reason why these shows exist is because you have all these
money.
It's because you have all these people from Japan that spend enormous amounts of money on the DVDs, on figurines, on
Love
just
pillows.
basically blood pillows.
Dakimakuras.
Basically anything with these characters on it that they'd be stupid not to make it. And then you look over at the North American market and like nobody pays for shit.
One of my favorite facts about that is, okay, so Mio from, you know, I think the blonde-haired girl, Mio from K-On!, right?
Mio is the black-haired.
That's black-haired. I mean, Mugi, my bad.
Yeah, Mugi.
Mugi made... So she had this thing where Kyoto Animations was like selling birthday cards to Mio on her made-up birthday, and they net, I thought, was like over $50,000.
Yeah.
Like selling birthday cards to a fictional character.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my god! Like,
this is why those shows exist, and this is why they will continue to make those shows, because they get ridiculous amounts of money out of it.
In Kyotoani's defense.
Yeah, in comparison to like awesome shows like Steins Gate and Madoka Magic. Well, Madoka Magic is actually selling really well because it's fairly moe, but
but you know, in KyoAni's defense, you know, Hyoka right now, they're coming back, you know. I like where they're going now, you know. It's really interesting.
Well, I was very, very... I did like Disappearance a lot, but apart from that, it's... I've never really liked Kyoto Animation.
I think you would like Hyoka, just because it's not what you'd expect from them. It's totally different.
It actually is. Hiroka is something... if there's anything for Kyoto Ani to come back from, the failures of their past, it is the best shot that they've given in a long time.
Kyoka is basically like after making the Sumitaro Suzumiya, they're like, this new serious approach is really like we need
to continue doing this.
We need to do this.
Well, they did. I remember back in the day, they made freaking Full Metal Panic the second raid. Like,
yeah, and well, they did Fumofu as well. So.
Yeah. And then they made Haruhi, and they thought, oh my god, this stuff fucking sells. We gotta make Lucky Star. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then they
this so sells. We need to make Nishijo.
No, and then they made Air, Canon, and Clan Ad as well. They
and
just
K-On.
did all the key properties.
And K-On.
And K-On.
Kind of important, just a little bit. But
they really, what I would like to see from them after Hiroka is actually, I want to see them to do the third raid.
I've been waiting for the third raid for how many fucking years now, and I don't think I'm ever going to get it.
Yeah. I think, but see, if there's anything recently that has proved me wrong, it's, people are showing that cult hits can have adaptations for almost no reason. Like, right now, we're getting the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime. What reason? I have no idea.
Zawaldo!
Who? Okay, I don't think any anime fan who was born after that, born after the creation of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has any recollection or idea what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is. Like, no one. It's so low key, and yet it's somehow getting this new anime. I don't get it, but it shows that it's possible. Same with Badland Rumbles. It's a shock.
And Badland Rumble is just really weird too, because Trigun's major popularity boost was always in the West, so it was just Badland Rumble to be made is just I don't understand it. It made no sense.
I'm hoping it's because they did have a Western audience in mind at the time they were making it.
Yeah.
Which is good, because it shows that companies do still have faith in the Western market, but that is dying quickly.
And that's why legality is such an important thing.
Freaking piracy.
It's so easy. It's not even just fan subs, You got eBay, You got
you can go buy bootlegs.
You can go buy bootlegs, £20. I mean, they look so to the outside, to the unobservant eye, they look so real,
As much as I would like to slap the back of the head of anybody that just downloads fan subs of licensed shows, I even want to torch people who buy bootlegs, knowing that they're bootlegs, because I'm just you're actually paying money to some guy to burn you crappy DVDs of some file you could have downloaded yourself on the internet.
It's got I can see it as a Sharpie, and it's written on the disc, disc 1, page 0.
There are bootlegs like that. There is a place in Southern Ontario over at the Pacific Mall where they do sell shit like that, and I was just I do not understand how they make money off this. Well, they do, because it's all they do.
I was about to say, it's
because they're stupid people in the world.
It's really about educating consumers, That's what they should really be doing. Mm-hmm. And I think what it is that it's really it's going to come to a point where it's it's going to be advertisements have to make more money than they do now. Sales have to be more Western involved, as in what I say about that is we need more relation with the Japanese market as it is. Mm-hmm. My perfect example is Gundam Unicorn and Kurokami, both dubbed the same simultaneously as it was released in Japanese. They released a dub of it,
Yeah, we need more of that.
We need more of that.
But
looking at Steins Gate, the time lag is ridiculous. It was released in 2011. It was aired in Japan in October. It finished in April. And then it was a year and a half until they announced the dub cast.
It's people buy stuff when it's fresh in their minds, It's like Anohana just came out on DVD, I bet some people didn't even know that,
Yeah.
But if they were to release Anohana, 2 months after it finished airing,
people would have bought the shit out of that.
Even without a dub, fucking that thing would sell, man. It's a good series. It has a huge fan base. It would have done amazing. Same with Angel Beats. Same with any of the popular series. Bakemonogatari especially. Mm-hmm. It's all about speed now, is what it is.
But the problem with that is just lawyers.
Everything is faster now. But that's what it is. The thing is,
it's not only that. It's sort of also especially in case of dubbing, no one has budget for dubbing anymore because it doesn't fucking sell.
No,
it doesn't.
Depressing,
or it doesn't. It doesn't seem to help sales at all. Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't. And so
Funimation still does it, and I'm thankful that they still do it. But But actually, well, I even have my qualms against Funimation dubbing because I'm starting to get sick and tired of hearing the same 5 voices over and over again. Well, that's just me.
It's gonna come to a point where I think everything is trying to escalate faster and faster, because fan subs, they're faster, like we've said so many times already in this podcast. Fan subs are faster. Every simulcast, it's all about speed, and it's all about getting a product in like someone's hands without like waiting 2 years, because it has to be fresh in their minds to buy it.
Because if someone watched Steins Gate and then just forgot about it, like, they'll look back on it and be like, oh, that's a really amazing show. But there's no, like, incentive to have to buy it now, because it's like, oh, well, I've already waited a year and a half. I can wait a bit longer.
Yeah, it's
And then they just forget about it.
The effect's worn off, It's like, if you were to, like, try to sell me, like... If you were to try to sell me Steins Gate, I would try to do it. I think the prime spot would be after the OVA aired. Yeah. I think that would have been perfect, because that revitalized. The OVA proved that Steins Gate is all the viewers are emotionally attached to Steins Gate.
Yeah.
Because if there's any OVA, that's how an OVA should be done. That's how what it's really showed.
I thought Steins Gate was just all about the story, and once that ends, I wouldn't be interested. But the OVA just like, oh right,
it proves you wrong.
Yeah, it just proves you wrong. I was like, I want to see more of this. I didn't know I wanted to see more of this, but now I do.
Yeah.
And the Steins Gate movie.
For example, the prime time to sell like Fate Zero would be like right now.
Well, guess what?
Yes.
That's what they're doing.
Well, no, they still have a bit of a lag before you. There's still like a
well, that's the same lag as the Japanese.
Yeah.
It's not any faster than it could be, but it's the same because it's an import. I think it comes out September is what the second ball is. When I get the second one.
I'm looking at. Oh yeah.
It's September, right?
Or maybe. Well, I just quickly stuffed it.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
And the first thing that pops up is actually the US import, which is like $369.
Probably the right one.
Chomp change.
To you.
No. I'm just kidding. I'm not made of cash, but it was totally worth it. That was my major thing. But the weirdest thing is, if there was any blind buy to do good on, it was Fate Zero.
Yeah, I don't believe you fucking blind bought Fate Zero.
No, I'm not joking. It was a
blind buy. I would admit, before Fate Zero aired, it had the greatest staff lineup I could have asked for.
It was really Karno Kyokai and me kicking myself in the ass, because I remember looking at it going, $500? No one will ever buy that. It sells out day one, and I go, well, it's probably a sucky series anyway. It's probably just shit. I watch it. I watch it like 6 months later, and I'm like, well, shit. Like, I should have bought it. And then I look at what I want to buy it, and it's like $700, and I'm like, shit. So I was like, even if I don't like Fate Zero, I have to buy Fate Zero just as an investment, because even if I hate it, I'll just hold on to it to a year, sell it for like turn around and sell it for more than it's worth. Or I'll like it and I won't regret it. And luckily I like it, and I still have no regrets about it. It was really just a UFO table. That's what sold me.
Yeah.
You are like the dumbest smart person I've ever met, Holden.
I know, right?
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's exactly that's the perfect way to describe me. But I'm trying to think.
One of the things that really pisses me off is I've made a video about the whole anime industry.
Yeah,
and the one comment that gets most like the one that like comes up most often is, I don't support the anime industry because I don't like dubs or something like that. And it's
is stupid.
And it's just every time I read it, no matter how many times, this rage boils up.
Then why don't you buy the DVD? Oh, and watch the Japanese version that's on the DVD?
It's like, when was the last time you bought a DVD and it was dub only? I can tell you when mine was. It was in 2001 when the Digimon movie came out. What about you guys?
That's about the same. It's about Digimon.
No.
Yeah, it was like Digimon. No, actually, no. The last time I bought a dub DVD was the first set for Pokemon.
No, I bought the dub VHS for that.
No, I have the VHS movies. I have like the first 4 movies of Pokemon in VHS.
That's pretty good.
And the actual season of the season of the show, I have like 3 random VHSs, just scattered episodes throughout the series. But I actually own the first season on DVD.
But I totally understand like the anger that's going in Tazu Gig. It's like because you look at it and you think that, are these people just idiotic? Like, are they just stupid? Like, you can turn that off. Like, that's entirely
No,
within your control.
it's the matter of they just don't want to pay for anything, and they will come up with any excuse that they can think of.
Exactly. That's
I'll
totally
tell you,
what it
like, the
is.
second excuse they come up with is that downloading is just better quality. I can't watch it in 1080p. And I say, oh, but isn't Crunchyroll in 1080p? And they go, no, it's not true 1080p.
It's not 10-bit. How can it be 10-bit if it's not 10-bit?
There is no difference. Oh, my God. I looked at a comparison image between 8-bit and 10-bit, and I could like barely recognize the difference.
There really isn't one almost.
I will admit that there is one, but it's not worth
It's
the
like-
amount of extra space or the amount of extra hassle it is to play these files.
It's not enough pixels, man. I need more, you know?
It's all about pixels.
It's such
yeah.
an invalid argument, you know? Or rather, even if any validity it does have is just surely overshadowed by the fact that this person is being a stingy asshole.
Yeah.
And it's really like, we are our own worst enemies as far as anime fans go. You know?
Mhm.
It's like we have this thing where we're so self-destructive, you know? I don't think there's any other like hobby or sport or anything rather that's so self-destructive, you know? How can the fans of a thing be so like hell
Not
bent?
care.
How can we be so oblivious to like our own dying hobby?
Because that's how it's been for the longest time. Like, for the longest time, when there were just shows that nobody would license because they just didn't bother to do it, the only way to watch it was to download fan subs. So now that there's suddenly, like, this big explosion of all these things getting licensed, there's a ridiculous amount of stuff getting licensed nowadays. It's just insane. But it's just like, people are just like, oh, but we used to just be able to download this for free. I want to continue doing that. And it's just sad.
I think there was actually a point in time when fan subs actually helped the industry around 2003, 2004.
I totally agree with that.
And then afterwards, it just reached a peak, and now it's just hurting. And because it helped it before, everyone just assumes, well, we're just doing the same thing we've always been doing. So why is it bad now? You know, and that's just completely hurt the industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's really. It's going to be so weird because in the coming years, it's really going to become like we're really going to start feeling the impacts, you know?
We've already been feeling the impact. Like, where the hell did Jenny on go? Where did ADV go? Why is Bandai not releasing anything anymore?
I know, I'm fully aware of all that, but as soon as, like, what I'm trying to say is that it'll become, like, even more apparent. Like, we're down to what, like, 5 companies maybe? Like, and it's going to keep dropping, and the space is going to keep getting slower and slower. And it's this thing where, you know, we need to figure out an alternative, you know, be it like selling digital downloads, you know, that's I've always thought that was a possibility, you know. I would partake
Downloads
in
is
that.
possible on iTunes. I think that's the place to do it.
Yeah, but they need to make it more prevalent, you know. I would totally do it because...
Well, actually, right now, I keep seeing this pop up in my Twitter feed, is Funimation has this big sale on the Sony store, but that's only usually good if you own a PS3.
Yeah,
and you happen to be in North America, and you have to be, well, probably the US only.
Probably
what
the
it's
US,
licensed for, where you can download full episodes of anime.
And I think that is, right now, as far as I can tell, from the eyes of Holden from HoldenReviews, that's what I see is the only alternative to what we are doing right now that I can see potentially.
But the thing is, like, even then, people would look at that and be like,
no, totally.
I would prefer to just download it.
I
free.
totally agree.
Yes,
I mean, look at Adobe After Effects and Sony Vegas. You know, they're digital programs, and look at that, they're still getting bootlegged like hell. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think when there is a service to rival fan subs, I've read like a few interviews from fan subbers, and if they are, I don't know if they are true to their words, then if there is actually something that could rival them, then I think you'd see a drop in the actual fan subgroups, or at least the actual good fan subgroups.
I can totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's really. If Crunchyroll does well, I think that could be a forerunner to what could potentially be a profitable market.
Yeah. So let's
But-
all hope Crunchyroll does well.
Yeah, it's really at this point all dependent upon Crunchyroll. As far as
Well,
like my whole...
it's not entirely
Well,
Crunchyroll.
no,
like,
I mean,
Funimation has a big stake in this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, as far as my digital idea, yeah, it's basically the digital, it's Crunchyroll and Funimation.
They're kind of the ones that are doing it best at the moment. Like Funimation has its thing, but it's just not as user friendly as Crunchyroll is.
And it's got to be digital. That's the future. It's going to be digital.
It has to be. Discs are going to become this thing where discs
which makes me sad because I actually like my physical collection.
Oh no, I mean I do too. You know, I mean, what about you, Gigs? Do you like your?
Yeah. I'm a physical collector as well, but you know, that's because we're hardcore reviewer fans.
Yeah, but
whatever.
I guess it's a situation where we still have that, but it's not like relying. That's like a bonus thing. Like the thing.
Kind of like the way I view it is it's kind of like, okay, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's kind of like vinyl in a way. Okay, vinyl's outdated, right? You know, the CDs, iPods, MP3, right? Mm-hmm. But they still make it for the hardcore fans, and I think that they would still make DVDs and Blu-rays for the hardcore fans or whatever, you know, future format.
I think the term you're looking for is hipster.
Yeah, but no, in reality, but no, think about it. Actually, you bring up a great point. It almost feels like buying anime is hipster in comparison to the other fans.
It's true.
I mean, anime in itself is hipster, but I mean, it feels like even purchasing anime amongst the anime community is hipster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I actually think that would be an interesting model, wherein like all the prices are kind of what they are now if you were to buy physical copies, but then they just have like $2 or $3 an episode downloads on the internet.
I think it'd be fine. You know, I think that, you know, they sell it as MKV files. You know, they input like an interface, like a menu, okay, right? Like a DVD menu, an interactive menu thing with a mouse and shit, so you can like go through extras and like scene selection and whatnot and what have you. And I think it would work, you know, to be honest, you know. I think that it would all be about, it's like the same as fan subs. You're getting more because the interface is better, and the quality is perfect. And I think that would work, to be fully honest. I think if companies started doing that, like, I say if Toei Animation just all of a sudden started releasing One Piece, digitally downloading it, I think it would sell.
But you can't just release MKV files, because what's just from a business perspective, what's to stop them from just going, oh, I could just fucking put this on torrents, and then no one else has to pay for it.
I know exactly what you're saying. I don't necessarily mean MKV, but I'm just saying MKV so people like know what I mean. Like
what I kind of wouldn't mind to see. I don't know how like viable this would be. Is you know how Steam works with video games?
Yeah,
I kind of wish there was an anime version of Steam.
I was kind of thinking that.
Totally. Like everyone said that an anime version of Steam would be perfect right now.
I think an anime version of Steam, or if not like an anime version of Steam, I think like anime exe files that have some sort of like security code protection. Okay.
No, that wouldn't work.
No. I'm just saying exe just for the sake of just something that installs.
Okay, just for the sake of the idea, I guess, yeah.
But it's not necessarily by the idea of installation. It's that exes, you know, some of them require like codes and shit, and that's what I'm talking about. Like yeah, there's always gonna be ways around. You know, there's no perfect way. Like even Steam has flaws, you know. But Steam, the thing about it is it modulates its prices, you know.
Actually, I actually seen like for video games the best copyright protection I've ever seen is the copyright that when you pirate it, it allows you to play the game perfectly fine, but then as the hours progress and you continue playing it, random shit just starts happening.
I have seen that, yeah,
and it's freaking brilliant.
I think what it is that it really comes down to anime. The companies they're starting to at least to recognize, you know, the value of technology and the internet and how like good it is and how they really do need to use it for the future if they really want to keep growing, you know. Because it's like Zamd, you know, how that was released as a PSN exclusive, right? PlayStation Network exclusive.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, Zamd is what like the forerunner of what I like. That's like what I think anime is gonna be like in the future for some reason. And I think Zamd was the first one to do it, and I don't think it will be the last. I totally think that's going to happen.
But at the same time, you kind of don't want to have something to be exclusive, because then the people that aren't able to access the exclusivity will just turn to torrents.
Which is what's happening now, because that's region locking. You know, that's region locking right there.
Yeah, it's like I can see a lot of people from over in Europe who just don't have access to all this stuff because like manga's not licensing it and releasing it. So what else do they have? They have torrents.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
a big thing that needs to come over is actually the Japanese companies themselves, because with
That's
Japan,
what I was saying. Yeah.
with Japan, they actually physical distribution still works and it's still driving their industry there.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
if-
it's stupid expensive, but it works.
yeah, it
It
works.
does.
It does, because they have
And
fucking.
I think Aniplex is proving it does work in America too. Like, despite everyone saying how stupid it is, I think it's working for some reason. I would love to see the numbers on Fate Zero, Bakano, and what was the newest one? Madoka Magica. I would love to see the numbers on that. Like Madoka Magica is like $120 or something if you buy all of them limited edition, which is what people do. Because if you buy the first one, you want to be gussied up and get all three. And I really feel like, Aniplex that's exactly what they're doing. It's like they're trying really hard to give you a exact Japanese copy, but I don't think they're going out of their way to do so. I feel like they're either under marketing themselves because it's very unknown, like Funimation, you know about Funimation, they're very in your face, but it feels like Aniplex, they release trailers occasionally. They have some guy named the Aniplex guy. He goes around, derps around in Japan. Like to point out, he does absolute fuck all to actually like explain anything. Most uninteresting man alive. But
this is a shop in Japan, and this is what you can get in the shop.
Yeah, I learned more
This
shit about.
Fate
I
Zero.
learned more shit about what's going on in Japan by watching Game Center GX and freaking subtitles.
it's
But then again, that show's kind of badass. So
but I think Aniplex they're trying it right now, but I feel like no one's pointing them in the right direction is what it really boils down to.
well, I don't think anybody knows the right direction to be pointed in at this moment. Is the problem?
That's also very true. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
We're sort of at a crossroad where we don't know what's going on, because we're in a transition period here
Yeah, we are in transition from physical to digital.
to digital. Yeah,
And I think what would be really interesting is that, okay, so when a show's released, they start marketing the product for the show. You know how they already do that in Japan. You know how maybe you're watching like a fan sub, and
No, actually, they do marketing really ridiculously early. Like earlier today, I saw I saw the
episodes
advertisement
of the show itself. They'll even advertise the Blu-ray release of that volume, like 2 months in advance during that episode.
Not even then.
Yeah.
Like I saw artwork for the next Magical Girl show by Shaft. That doesn't even have a release date yet, but they have artwork and they have an entire booth over at Comic Fest and everything in Japan, and it's just like they advertise so well and so early, and just it's brilliant.
I think if they do it in the show, I think that would be really smart. I think that what they should do is that it's so unavoidable. The thing about fan subs is you can't avoid those shitty commercials in between sometimes. And those, but the scrolling Japanese text at the bottom, those are actually usually release dates for the show itself as it's airing, which is really smart because
really?
it's
I thought they were like earthquake warnings.
Or weather warnings, or there's about to be a huge typhoon.
they're not-
Or shit's
not-
about to go down, so get the fuck
they're
out
not all
kind of
like
thing.
that. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not all advertisements, but some of them are actually advertisements for the show itself, even though the volumes aren't even out yet. They're advertising it in the show while it's airing. Basically, they're
That's
saying, to get a clean version of this episode, since this ad is fucking it up, go buy this.
But they can't really do that in North America because
That's exactly right. But if
unless they did it on like freaking Toonami.
Exactly, that's what Toonami does, though. Toonami tries. They try to sell everything that they get. Like they advertise everything. Like the Cowboy Bebop box set. How long has that thing been out? And
Forever.
they're advertising that still to this day. And it's like they could do it. If you really do it and you basically make people aware, it'll work. Because like you said, Tristan, no one's aware. No one knows what's going on. And like Gigguk said, we're in the transition point where it's pretty important. Everything that we do now will really like mold and shape the future of what the anime industry is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's That's all.
That's
really,
all we have to say about that.
That's pretty much all we have to say about
I
that.
think that was a good way to.
I think that's a pretty good way to end it.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, ladies and gentlemen, and others, of course, thank you for joining us on our very, 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 very first episode of PodTaku. We hope that you have enjoyed. Please post in the comments your thoughts on whatever the hell we've talked about today, or just random things that you just feel like saying. Just type in derp if you feel like it. Go nuts. Don't care. We will be back. I have no idea
We have
when.
no idea.
I'd like to say, we'll be back next week. No, it's probably not.
Probably maybe with mixed and matched cast.
Well, we
depending on
might see you by
availability.
Christmas, you know.
Yeah, maybe Christmas. Now, if we're
They're-
very lucky, we'll see. You.
Just point out this podcast is technically 4 people, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, technically.
definitely.
But Jeanne was unable to join us today. So.
But even so, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. Us bantering about just 3 reviewers who are just, having
talking shit.
having nerd arguments,
Yes.
And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it, because I know that I enjoyed making it. And I know you guys.
I've enjoyed making it.
Yeah,
I've
I know
enjoyed
you guys.
And I'm not
it.
even done making it because I get to do all the wonderful background work afterwards.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
gonna be fun.
But it's definitely a lot of fun. Hope to do it again
Yeah.
soon. Actually, really hope so.
Hopefully, like really soon.
Like,
we
really
should do this
soon.
again tomorrow.
If you guys liked it, leave the code word. What should we make the code word? Actually, we should do that. We should make a code word. How about
No, actually, I'm against code words.
you're against
because
code
then-
words?
No, I'm against code words because the last time we did a code word, every comment was just
Actually,
every comment,
leave your
all it
honest
was.
opinions and/or thoughts on our discussion.
Yeah,
That would be-
that's what we wanted anyway, you know.
Yeah, that's what we wanted anyway. So just do that, and we will. I can guarantee that we'll read it. Send me a PM. Holden Reviews at YouTube on YouTube. I think you can do the same for the other 2. They're probably gonna hate me and like shank me afterwards for saying, "Oh, dude, my PM box is just flooded." And
No, I don't get YouTube PMs. I just get my inbox filled, and anytime someone posts a comment on the site. So
yeah, but
I'm fine
feel
with
free
that.
to send me a PM though for sure. Tell me what you guys think. Maybe just post it on a video with a comment. I read all of them anyway. And I'll probably respond to you very soon actually.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we should all take out.
end it off. All right. Well, then, ladies, gentlemen, and others, until next time, stay frosty.
Should I say something?
Are we all doing an outro?
Are we doing
This
an
is our outro, Holden.
This is our
Get your
outro.
shit together.
Okay, well, I should probably get my shit together. So, I'm Holden from Holden Reviews, and until next time, sayonara. See you later.
And this has been Gigguk from the Anime Zone, and I'll see you guys next time.
And we are done. That's it. We're done.